Hello YouTube, this is Chaos Ripid, and this is another episode of Sudeki Grind. Not gonna lie, the video died out on this one, so I probably am basically, I think it skipped out something. I don't know what happened. It shut down on me, so I gotta do a little bit of work. But I'm hoping everybody's having a blessed, wonderful, fantastic day. I'm hoping everything is going well with you and yours. Yeah, so these things happen, you know what I'm saying? So before I go any further, I'm going to show you what you missed. So if you see any difference between what you just seen and this one, here it is. I think he had two, so his power and his health is all the way up. I believe she had one in the last episode. I think he had two, and yeah, so you can see the difference in everything. I don't know what happened. It crashed out on me. I'm not gonna lie, it did. It really did. So it might be too much memory. I don't know, but hey, you know what? I'm just having a blessed, wonderful, fantastic day. So it is what it is. But what I was saying earlier, what you kind of knocked me off my thing was, be willing to learn as a student. Empty out your cup and just learn. Just learn. Be willing and able to learn. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with just starting over and learning. Whether people agree with that or not, it is what it is. But, be willing to learn from somebody who came before you. Make sure they're the right teacher, though. Now, don't get me wrong. In the last episode, I said, hey, school, prison, and work or structurally about the same, except there's a freedom in difference between them. But what I'm saying is, when you're learning, when you're willing to learn from the right person, understand you're starting from ground zero. Okay? And also, when you're learning, a lot of times, like for example, if you were a architect, they design buildings and things like that. If you're willing to be an actual worker, the boots on the ground kind of guy or girl or they, you know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. If you're willing to do that, then you will learn so much. And then you can, take that, and let's say I'm just making it up as I go. If you choose to go and be an architect in another place or another firm or whatever, hey, you understand now, as for the boots on the ground, well, in case this happens, I can make the adjustments and move forward instead of just, the textbook or, experience from just an architect. No, you can come at this like a construction work and go like, no, wait a minute, they got to dig this out and it's going to take this amount of time. And you see what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, And if you're willing to learn and move forward, you started off, probably didn't know how to swing a hammer or nothing like that. You didn't understand the time that it took, the muscle it took, the calluses that you got, but you learned. You learned. You build and you grow. You started off slow and you learned and you build and you grew. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Learning from the right people, not the wrong ones. I'm not saying, oh, well, school is, no, if you got to go through what you got to go through because you're a kid. It is what it is. Or, you're a student and you're trying to get a degree and stuff like that. That's different, because you got to do it. You're either paying for it or you got to do it by law. So, you got to do what you got to do. Let me start him off here. You got to do what you got to do. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have to do what you have to do. And it's not going to be nice. It's not going to be sweet. It's not going to be great. Okay? It is what it is. Kind of one of those, get over it and let's just move forward. Because it's not going to be easy. And I know that ain't the nicest way of saying that, but it's real. I mean, it's not going to be easy. Okay? None of it is going to be easy. You know? So, you know what I'm saying? So, be willing to start over. Be willing to look in another person's shoes and see how they do it. And, you know, and like I said, I'm not saying any of this is going to be like super awesome and fantastic. No, a lot of times it's going to suck. It's going to suck horribly. You know, it's just is what it is. You know, I mean, no nice way of saying that. It's going to suck. You know, you're going to have to just kind of suck it up and just get it done. I know it ain't the nice way of saying that. I know it ain't. But, you know, kind of a result society. And if the results say, hey, you got to do A, B, C, and D to move forward, do it. Now, if you want to change it, understand the risk and get the results done. Sorry. There's no nice way of saying that. And I know people want to hear it that way, but it's like, you know, I know that, you know, we have systems in place. Can't say this, can't say that, can't do this, can't do that. But when you're by yourself and you're struggling and then you're trying to figure out, you know, what to do and how to do things and all this, and you're not getting to where you need to go to most of the time, man, I mean, not to sound like like a broken record, but, you know, it's kind of like, yeah, you got a job to do. You need to get it done. And none of it's going to be easy. And some adults, you know, have to start over from scratch. You know how hard it is to start over from scratch? Starting over from scratch? Man, look, starting over from scratch. This is one of the hardest things you'll ever have to deal with. Let me see where I'm at before, because I don't know if it's going to shut off again. So let me see where I'm at. No. Okay, let me start off with who has the. Let's start off with something easy. Okay, we'll do it here. We'll deal with his. So he's at 65,007. Okay. But yeah, like, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun. But I guarantee you, if you learn it and understand it, if this is a field you really want to be in, or at least it will help you to build and move forward. I mean, Bruce Lee did the exact same thing. He had to learn from folks who didn't like him at all. Period. You know, he didn't go to any, you know, McDojos or whatever you want to call them. You know, he went to the real ones. You know, he look. You know, he had to go and get things done a certain way, and it was uncomfortable. You know, and I'm not gonna say that man won every single fight. You know, a lot of times. I mean, I know society will say, well, he won all the fights and he was the best in the universe and all. As a grown man, now I understand you don't win every single fight. You don't. What gets recorded is different, but you don't win every single fight. That doesn't mean he's not great. He's one of the best, and he deserves respect. Always. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have got a lot of things we got now. Nor the normalization of martial arts. Even bodybuilders can thank him 10 out of 10 because his workout routine helps them out all the time. You know, getting in shape a lot of the times. We can thank him for that. You know, the mindset of learning from different disciplines, not even from a mixed martial arts standpoint, but just from a scientific standpoint. You know, hey, learn some chemistry and engineering. Like, you know how dangerous you can be if you know both and you mastered both. But you got to learn how to do that. You got to learn how to do that, and it's not easy. You got to get over yourself and just get it done. And like I said, I'm not saying it's supposed to be easy, and I'm not going to say it's going to be fun. None of it is. None of it is. Okay? I am not finna play around like it is going to be. No, it's not. But what I can say is that once you learn it, if your mind is where it needs to be at, because, you know, hey, diseases that destroy the mind or a thing, you know, if you are granted that ability, yeah, you pretty much, you're good. Learn it, master it, move forward from it. Call it a day. You know, and don't be ashamed of it. You know, just, you know, get the job done and move forward. I don't know what happened because the system had died out on me, so I really truly don't know. Right now, I think I'm just trying to get his SP up without having to use a lot of help. Let me see. Let's do this.
I hope these things work. They're still prototypes.
Let's get her going. Shadow Nexus.
From the depth of the void comes the pain of the fall.
I should have read that a lot more, but it is what it is. I think it gives energy out too, but I'm not sure. Okay, it did. Like, I'm purposely not. I am actually purposely not taking out the main, the little glowing orb on purpose, because I'm just trying to gain SP. So yeah, it is what it is. Plus, I'm trying to make Tau level up. I just want to see how much I'll get off of each battle. Oh wait, you know what? I can do that now. I didn't think about that until just now. Okay, so wow. Okay. Okay. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot. Why'd I do that? I don't know. It is what it is. Went the wrong way. No. But yeah, like, there's, you know, but also, you know, now I know, you know, people say, hey, you know, don't chase after your dreams or something like that. Like, you know, because most of the time people dream about being something that isn't productive a lot of times. Sometimes, you know. But, you know, back in the day, who would have thought that being into video games would have made you serious money? You know what I'm saying? Just take a business aspect to it. Don't just go straight artist. You know, have a business mindset when it comes to that kind of stuff. You know, be honest about it. You know, have a business mindset when it comes to these kind of things. Okay, I'm not saying quit and don't do what you want to do. No, just have a business mindset. Okay, she's at 8,048. All right, have a business mindset. That's all I'm saying. Have a business mindset. Because people always want to be in show business, but they don't want to. They'll do the show, but they don't want to do the business. You know, you get what I'm saying? You know, whether you do comedy or podcast or whatever, you know, even if your whole thing is like making money, right? That's the only thing you want. Whatever it is, as long as you're making money, you're good. Okay, cool. Make your money. But, you know, in making your money, you know, you got to find a way to keep it. Because you can't get sued. Being sued is a real thing. Hold on a sec. There you go. You know? And it's not fun. It is not funny. It is horrible. And a lot of times you ain't got the money to do whatever you want to do. You got to go into bankruptcy and all the other stuff. So let me see. Oh, I should. Oh, okay. I need to have a calculator on me because most of the time I use my phone. So, but I'll get it done later. But yeah, like, you know, just start off slow, work your way up, be better, do better, you know, and call it a day. Like, I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's doable. You start off slow, work your way up, you know, be willing to be a student, be humble instead of getting humbled, and call it a day. Learn from folks who came before you. You know, don't think it's all, you know, don't think you're the greatest of the greats unless you are, and it's a whole different thing. This actually worked. Sorry. Let me see. I'm gonna do, what's this? Just for toxins and stuff. Oh, okay, cool. So I'm gonna do this instead. Let me see something real quick. Hold on. This will work. Yep, I'm gonna take both of y'all out. I know the animation's still going on. Oh yeah, I enjoy doing this so much. And let them take each other out. There it is. Efficiency. Call it a day. Let me see. Is he about to? Just about. She's about to also. So he keeps up with her, and they are there. Okay. I'm gonna wait till they level up, and then probably go ahead and do what I gotta do because I know I have to take care of some other things tonight. But yeah, like, you know, don't, you know, and look. In that process, your teacher might learn something from you too. Because we're all human. We are all humans. You know? You know how many times that students are, you know, students that didn't have to go through what you had to go through to learn what you learned, and then they're coming from their point of view of things, and then, you know, they get the job done and move forward and get things taken care of to a point, and you know, because they let's say they went through their own kind of struggles in a different way. It's not easy, don't get me wrong, it's not. It really isn't. But, you know, everybody has their own thing. Everybody has their own flaws and, you know, hiccups and stuff like that. And none of it's going to be easy. None of it's going to be simple. You know, every bit of it's going to be hard work. But if you're willing to put in the work, and you're willing to pay attention. Sometimes the teacher has to be the student. Sometimes the student has to be the teacher. Those roles get reversed all the time. Look at MMA fighters most of the time. Sometimes they got to learn, you know, everybody's doing it this way. And then somebody comes out of left field and does it another way. Now everybody, you know, the big brawler now has to learn how to grapple, you know, because everybody learned that he doesn't move a certain way. All you got to do is dip to the right and catch the leg and boom, you know, and then just grapple them down, and you know what I'm saying. I'm not saying that's an easy thing to do. I am not saying that. No, it is not. But like, to be able to learn from people, and yeah, your coach might be a younger person, so you have to learn from that younger person to be better. It's a hard thing to do.
My savage friend, your skills.
Imagine if your supervisor, you know what I'm saying, is a younger person, which a lot of time is, You know what I'm saying? Like it's a hard thing to deal with sometimes. And you just gotta kind of kill your pride and just get it done.
We shall not fall.
In order to move forward, you know?
Come on, people, pick up the pace.
Don't worry about the mess. Get it done. Cause you're gonna be better one way or another. And it might not be to your detriment, but you're gonna learn. You're gonna learn. Because either you're gonna be part of the problem or part of the solution. Either way, you're gonna learn. So yeah, you know. But I'm gonna call it on this one, you know, because I think before this thing, you know, destroy itself and everything. I'm just gonna call it right here. So this is Chaos Rip It signing out, saying have a blessed, wonderful, and fantastic day. And I'm hoping that maybe 1, 2, or 3 gems that you got from this conversation will help you to be better, do better, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And you know, and understand you're not gonna be perfect, okay? You're true, and I know it's gonna be a long extra, whatever we want to call it, but you're not gonna be perfect. In life, you will not be perfect, but please allow yourself to make mistakes and build and move forward. Don't just stand still. Build and move forward. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. It's gonna suck. That's just the way it is. But at the end of the day, just build and move forward. And call it a day. And look, I leveled up. Let me get to this right here before something happens. Let me get over here and call it a day. But this is Chaos Ripper signing out saying, have a blessed, wonderful, and fantastic day. Peace! I'm out of here.